Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Haley and I make content all about life with a chronic illness. So if you like this type of videos, make sure to subscribe down below so you will not miss any more content. And today I'm going to be talking about why I am gluten and dairy free. So for my whole life before I became gluten free, I wasn't allergic to any food. I wasn't sensitive to foods. The only thing I was allergic to was penicillin. Obviously that's not a food, so it was not a daily concern. And looking back before I became gluten-free at pictures, my stomach was pretty much almost always bloated. So I believe I became gluten-free sometime in 2011. Because it was so long ago, I don't remember all the specifics. I don't remember in detail. I just kind of remember the basics. But I'm not sure if it was, how long it was. I know it was more than a few months. That anytime I would eat gluten, I would have these stomach attacks. Basically, my stomach would grow out so much and it would become so distended and so bloated and so hard and so painful. I would be paralyzed in bed because of how painful it was, and nothing helped. Drinking water didn't help. Taking ibuprofen or stuff like that did not help. I would just have to ride it through. And we were trying to figure out what was going on, like why was I having these stomach attacks all the time. And we went to my pediatrician and I got tested for celiac disease, and I actually tested negative for it. However, I would like to note that even if you don't have celiac disease, you can still be gluten intolerant. So that is me. I'm gluten intolerant. And then one day my mom said to me, let's try to put you on a gluten-free diet for a week and we'll just see what happens. And I've never looked back. I've been gluten-free since that point. So it's been now 7 years of being gluten-free, I believe. 7 years? Yeah, I think so. I think it's 7. And I am used to it now. In the beginning, it was hard. It was hard not being able to eat the food my friends were eating, or to eat things at restaurants or chicken nuggets or anything of that sort. My body was just like, no dude, no. And I know what I'm about to share is gonna kind of sound really crazy to some people, and if you don't want to believe it, you don't have to believe it. But I know for me, going gluten-free changed my taste buds. And I know that's a crazy statement to make, but it did, and it changed my moods. So before I was gluten-free, I hated fruit. I would really only eat bananas. I hated strawberries. I hated other things. Like, I literally was so picky and like I wouldn't try new things. Yeah, going gluten-free changed my taste buds. Now I love strawberries and I will try so many new things. I will try vegetables and fruits. May not always like them, but I'm way more open to trying them now, and I attribute that to becoming gluten-free, and something I'm grateful for because strawberries are delicious. Going gluten-free affected my moods. I wasn't as moody. I wasn't as fatigued. Oh, and I forgot. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to mention the biggest positive. One of the biggest positives from being gluten-free. I stopped having tics, and now you're probably like, tics? Not tics like you would get Lyme disease from. Tics like, if you're familiar with Tourette syndrome, how people are unable to control certain things you do. The way you move, the way you talk, you can't stop it. That was me. I'm not going to reenact those. I remember what my tics were, but I just prefer not to mess with that sleeping beast. But after I became gluten-free, they went away. And I mean, they were getting to a point where like, is there something more? Like, what is going on? And so becoming gluten-free actually helped pretty much get rid of those, which honestly was one of the best parts of becoming gluten-free, because it was getting bad and really noticeable. When I became gluten-free, it was 2011, 7 years ago. There was not as much availability as there is today, which I'm so grateful. The market has like gone up Like, there's so many more things, so many more restaurants and fast food places are making gluten-free food for people who are gluten-free. So that is important. And if you want me to make a video of like all the brands and like all the restaurants I'm able to eat as somebody who's gluten-free, let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like this video. But I will share 2 of my favorite brands for gluten-free things. One of them is Udi's. Oh my gosh, Udi's is amazing. And I'm gonna be 100% real with you. Gluten-free food is expensive. It's more expensive than you would think. But Udi's bread and rolls, like, worth it. Like, their bread is good. They have whole grain bread, they have white bread, I think they have other types of breads, they sell bagels and a bunch of other things, and I believe even pizzas that are gluten-free. So that is an amazing brand to go check out. They're like everywhere. They're in so many different grocery stores. And the next thing that I would recommend are for you guys, if you have to have protein every few hours or you have to eat something every few hours, I highly suggest Lara bars. Those are my saving grace. My favorite flavor is the peanut butter chocolate chip, but they have so many flavors, like way too many to pick from, and it's awesome. They are all gluten-free and they all have protein in them, and they're not full with a bunch of really bad ingredients. So I definitely recommend those. And as much as restaurants are doing so much better with the gluten-free products and meals, cross-contamination still does occur when people aren't properly trained on how to handle gluten-free food, or from going to a glutinous filled food to gluten-free meal. But like I said, restaurants in every place have gotten so much better since I became gluten-free. So now I'm going to share about why I'm dairy-free. So even after I was gluten-free, I was not allergic to anything else at all. Like, I could tolerate pretty much everything else. And my health took a wild spiral in 2016. Like, guys, you can watch some of my previous videos, but it was bad. It was really bad. During those 6 months, my GI system basically was barely working, and I was on TPN, which is liquid nutrition, so I was unable to absorb any nutrients. I was unable to eat or tolerate anything, even gluten-free food. But dairy and sugar would make it so much worse. Luckily, I had an experimental treatment done and my body was on track, and I'm like, yes, I can eat sugar again. I can eat dairy. I can eat all my yummy stuff again. And nope. I don't know what happened, but after the experimental treatment, my body does not tolerate dairy very well, and I'm not going to go too into it, but I'm sure those of you with chronic illnesses who deal with GI issues, you know what I mean when I say I don't tolerate it. It just, yeah, it's not pleasant. My stomach doesn't like it. My whole GI system hates it. So unfortunately, I can no longer have dairy. I can have small amounts like butter and a baked potato or some cheese on pasta, but nothing like a glass of milk. But it's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. And the same thing with being gluten-free too. Both of those are way easier than I thought they would be. And for that, I am grateful. And being gluten-free and dairy-free has actually been a lot easier than I thought it would. And you know, when your body can't tolerate food, you don't have a choice, but you have a choice on the mindset you get. So my mindset was just to stay positive and say, we're advanced enough in medicine in the world that we know that gluten can cause these things, that we know that dairy can affect you, and I'm really grateful for that. I will probably be gluten-free and dairy-free for the rest of my life, and yes, I do miss dairy, and sometimes I wish I was able to eat gluten, but all in all, I don't really crave those because I haven't had them in I haven't had any gluten in 7 years, and I don't crave it ever. I mean, there's some times where I really wish I could eat a churro or a soft pretzel, but but that's really the only time. So I don't really miss gluten just because, like, I've been gluten-free for 7 years, so I don't know any different. And with dairy, I haven't had it in several months, but, you know, I am perfectly okay with not being able to have it. I don't crave it anymore. Don't forget to comment down below in the comment section if you want a video on anything specifically, or if you really want a video on my favorite gluten-free brands and my favorite places to go out to eat with being on a gluten-free diet. Thank you guys so much for 171 subscribers. I know to a lot of you that probably isn't a big number, but to me it means a lot. So thank you guys. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.